So, James, I just finished watching your video and I posted a comment on it, but I wanted to talk to you about it as well. I put off watching your video about friends for a while, I guess 3 days, because we have this conversation a lot, and I've had this conversation with other people, and it's just... I just needed to say some things. I know that it is a lot harder to ask people for help in real life. I know that, and I understand that, but learning to ask people for help in real life has been the most positive change that I have made in my life in the past 3 years, 2 years. Previously, if I was feeling down or upset or sad or whatever or stressed, I would go to people and say, "Can I have a hug?" And I would ask for a hug, and I think that that's a nice thing to do. And it did make me feel better, but it didn't make me feel like the problem was solved, because I wasn't explaining to people why I needed a hug. I just said, "Can I have a hug?" and then carried on. And with the help of some other people in my life, and I realized that if you ask people for help and you explain to them why you need help, that is a much bigger or a better solution to the problem. So it took a couple of times, and it was really, really difficult, but I consciously made a decision to go and ask someone for help or ask someone for a hug and say, "I need a hug because I am feeling like this." And sharing that feeling with them afterwards, I felt so much better, and it felt like much more like an actual real solution to the problem. And that is the story of how I learned to share my vulnerabilities with people. There is this wonderful talk by a lady called Brene Brown, and she talks about how, as humans, the way we form meaningful connections with other people is through vulnerabilities. Sharing vulnerabilities, rather. And it's probably something I've spoken about before, because it's something that I have really taken to heart. But it is so true, and that is how meaningful relationships are formed on the internet, and that's why, for a lot of us, it has been really easy to, or not really easy, but a lot easier to form meaningful relationships online, because it's a lot easier to share your vulnerabilities when you're not in front of someone. But, and I'm not belittling internet friendships at all, and of all people, James, you and I know that we have found fantastic, like, some of my best friends live inside my camera, but since I decided and learned how and practiced, because you do have to practice, since I practiced telling my friends here, my friends from school, about my vulnerabilities and sharing those with them and telling them when I was stressed and telling them when I was sad and why, it has made my life so much better, and the friendships that I have are so much stronger because of that. And as you open up to other people open up to you, and it's not something you can wait for. Like, you can't wait for that to happen. Maybe someone will open up to you, but if you want real, true, meaningful friendships in real life, you've got to go find them, and they're really hard to cultivate. But they are so, so worth it. And it's such a difficult thing, and I feel like a bad YouTuber for saying these things, because I know that a lot of people find them difficult. It's kind of like I'm saying that internet friendships aren't enough. And I kind of don't think they are. I think they were a really good, not addition, but not a substitute either. They're legitimate friendships, and they mean a lot. But in what you say a lot of the time, James, to me it sounds like you want to form meaningful friendships in your immediate physical environment, and all I can say to that is you have to practice and you have to try, and it's so hard. It's really hard, it's really stressful, I totally acknowledge that. But in the end, it's worth it. There's a lot of really good people out there. And you're such a wonderful person that I know that there are tons of people who would love to be friends with you and have meaningful friendships and close friendships with you. I like the internet a lot, and I think that it's brought a lot to my life. but I think that one of the best things that the internet does is that it brings people together in a physical environment. One of the best things I've got out of the internet is knowing all the nerdfighters in the Montreal area and going to the events that they've had, and I know that for a lot of them, they've formed some really good friendships through the Montreal area nerdfighters group. And not to mention, one of the best things that the internet ever did for me was going to VidCon and getting to hug you guys. So I don't think that dropping out of college and living in the internet will really solve your problems. I'm a terrible friend. This is an instance of Katie Thompson, proactive bitch, tries to solve problems, not in a very nice way. You know I love you, James. I love you a lot. I love all of my fantastic internet friends. I just had to say those things because they mean a lot to me, and it makes me really sad when you talk about that kind of thing and how everything is better on the internet, because it's not. Life is really wonderful, like real tangible life is fantastic, and getting hugs is amazing, and going skating when it's a beautiful blue sky day outside is fantastic, and you can't do those things on the internet. I don't know. I mean, you know where I'm coming from. I know that you do. I have faith that you won't take this in the wrong way, but I really needed to express those things to all of you. Anyway, I will talk to you all soon. If you were listening in on my conversation with James, I will talk to you soon.